Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emily and I post a ton of bookish videos for you guys. And if you're not new here, welcome back, happy to have you. So for today's video, I decided I wanted to do the end of the year book tag. And if you're not familiar with this, it is, at least from my knowledge, a 6-question tag, and it was created by the lovely Ariel Bissett. I have been following her for years and years. I actually did see her live once in Toronto and I love her, and I've been loving her house flipping videos because I personally moved out to the East Coast as well, so it was very relatable for me. But nonetheless, this tag is created by her and it is the end of the year book tag. I'm going to be going through the questions with you guys and just like letting you know what books I hope to read, maybe what books I haven't gotten to yet that I wish I had, stuff like that. Without further ado, let's get into the first question. So the first question of this tag is, are there any books that you still need to finish that you've left from some point of the year? And honestly, no, I don't think there are any books that I'm like hoping to get back to by the end of the year, but there were 2 books that I did DNF this year, so I will shout them out. I did DNF at the beginning of the year False Witness by Karen Slaughter, and in the summer I DNF'd Barefoot by Ellen Hildebrand. So those are 2 books that I DNF'd just for that time, but I do feel like at some point next year I do want to get around to reading them again because they definitely both have a lot of good qualities to them. It just wasn't the right time for me to read them. So no, but yes, it's just not by the end of the year. But those 2 books are definitely ones that I do want to get back to eventually. Question number 2 is, are there any books on your TBR that could transition well into the holiday season? And the answer is yes. The first 2 are actually like Christmas books that I have not on my shelf yet, but I have ordered them and I'm very excited to read them this holiday. So the first one being A Cat Cafe Christmas by Cody Gary. This one just sounds like literally my perfect Christmas book. It is about a veterinarian who decides to open up a cat cafe, and she's having a really hard time getting her business out of the red, and she's trying to get all of these cats adopted, but no one is adopting them. So she has to essentially hire someone who ends up being her love interest in the book to help her get back into that green and get some cats adopted. But they are polar opposites. It's enemies to lovers, and it has that holiday spirit that I'm looking for with a little dash of cats, which is like my thing. So really excited to read that one. And then the other one that I plan on reading is A Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This one is actually a novella. It's a little bit shorter, but it is about a woman who buys this like rundown farmhouse, and I think she has like a dog or something like that, which makes it really cute too. But she is renovating this farmhouse, which again is right up my alley right now with everything going on with my house. And she essentially finds this note in a bedroom of the new house that she bought that is about, I believe, like a kid's dad who went off at war, and she's hoping for him to come back. So there's like a little bit of a mystery. There's some second chance romance, I believe. It's definitely more of like a normal fiction, not a romance. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be different for me. But I've heard really great things about Mary Kay Andrews books, so very excited for that one as well. Number 3 in the book tag is there a new release you're still waiting for? And the answer would be no. There would be if I didn't get the ARC for it. So right now it is currently November 13th, and on November 22nd, Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail releases. However, I did receive an e-book ARC, so I have already read it, but I am still technically waiting for that physical copy because it's going to be so satisfying having that next to my Delilah Green Doesn't Care. So I've already read it, loved it, but I am technically waiting for it to release so that I can have my physical copy. But aside from that, I don't think there's any other books in like December releasing that I'm personally excited for. There are a ton that are great though, so be on the lookout for those, but none for me. Number 4 of this book tag is 3 books you want to read by the end of the year. This one, I already have my December TBR kind of lined up, so we're going to be talking about these 3 books here. The first one being Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. I love the Heartstopper series. I read this winter like a couple months ago. It was like a 3-star for me, but this one here, I just feel like it has holiday written all over it, and it's been on my TBR for a while, and I knew I wanted to get to it in December specifically because it just gives that like genuine, wholesome love story vibe, and I feel like that's what I'm gonna need in December. So this is a really, really quick read. The writing is like super small, there's drawings. I love a good teen book, so I'm so excited to read more about them. Honestly, I have missed Nick and Charlie, and I'm very excited for the second season coming out in, I think, like, I don't know, middle of next year. But regardless, Heartstopper season 2 is coming out, so I'm really, really excited, and hopefully this can hold me over until then. The next one I'm hoping to get to has actually been like on my TBR for December for a few months now, and I knew I wanted to read it then just because of the vibe, and also because this movie does come out where the Fanning sisters for the first time are going to be acting together. So Dakota and Elle Fanning are going to be the ones acting the two sisters in this book, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I don't really know what it's about, honestly, and it's a chunker, and I know it's historical fiction, which isn't normally what I like to read, but again, I just feel like around the holidays this would be perfect, and it's good timing with the movie. So I'm gonna read the back just so you guys have an idea of what this is about in case you want to pick it up as well. With courage, grace, and powerful insight, best-selling author Kristen Hanna captures the epic panorama of World War II and illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen, the woman's war. The Nightingale tells the story of two sisters separated by years of experience, by ideals, passion, and circumstance, each embarking on their own dangerous path toward survival, love, and freedom in German-occupied, war-torn France. A heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the durability of women. It is a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. So will I cry? Probably, but I just really do want to read this. I've had it for a while and I cannot wait to get to it. The writing is like actually not too small, so hopefully it won't take too long to get through. It is like around 600 pages, but regardless, I've heard great things about Kristen Hanna, and I have really wanted this to be my first book from her. So here it is. I'm reading it in December. And the last one is actually on my November TBR, but I just like don't know if I'm gonna get to it. So I do know for sure that I want to read this by the end of the year, no matter what, and that is Conversations with Friends by the one and only Sally Rooney. Again, I don't really know why I want to read this. I just feel like because I did enjoy Normal People so much, this is giving me very like wholesome vibes, but I know that there's gonna be a lot of drama in this book, a lot of like weird relationships and friendships. Written with gem-like precision and marked by a sly sense of humor, Conversations with Friends is wonderfully alive to the pleasures and dangers of youth and the messy edges of female friendship. So I know some people aren't like the biggest fan of Sally Rooney, but I personally love her, and this is definitely a book that I'm going to get to before the year ends. Okay, question number 5, we are getting there. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become one of your favorites of the year? But honestly, Nick and Charlie. Like, I really do think this will be a 5-star read for me. Just honestly because I miss them, and it's short, and I know it's going to be entertaining. It literally says on the front, this is literally a love story. So I'm really excited, and I definitely have high hopes that it will be a 5-star. Alright, the last question I think is my favorite, honestly, and that is, have you already started making plans for reading in 2023? And honestly, yes and no. I've made a lot of plans in my head with regards to my business for 2023, but not as much with reading. So I do have a few books here that I know I want to get to like as soon as possible at the beginning of 2023, but they're not like, you know, as long as I get to them at some point in the year, I'll be happy. But I do really feel like it's time I've read these. Like, some of these are embarrassing that I haven't read yet, honestly. So I'm just gonna go through these really quick with you guys. The first one being The Love Hypothesis. Still haven't read this guy, so definitely want to get to that one at the beginning of the year next year. And same goes for The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I have no idea how I haven't read this, but I loved Daisy Jones and the Six. It's a 5-star read for me, so I do have high hopes that I'll like this. Maybe not as much, but if that was a 5-star, I imagine this would still be like pretty high up there just because I love TJR's writing. So that is another one. And then these other two are just part of a series that I do want to keep continuing. First one being A Court of Frost and Starlight. I need to read this. I just feel like I need to read this. I know some people say that you don't have to read the novella, but I personally want to just because I already own it. So I'm gonna read this in order to get on to A Court of Silver Flames, which I do also own, and I guess I can just show it off right now. I'm definitely gonna be finishing this in 2023, and I'm really excited for the other books to come out eventually whenever she decides to announce them. Yes, those for sure. And then the last one that I want to get to, I mean, I feel like this is definitely a summer book, and when I show it you'll know, but I don't really care. Like, I just want to finish the series now, so I really want to finish We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the last book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I really loved it. I think it's like a 4-star series for me. I know I have read some spoilers about this, so I'm a little nervous about it, but we shall see. It's definitely high up on my list of books to finish at the beginning of 2023. Alright, you guys, that is it for this video and for this end of the year book tag. Honestly, I love doing tag videos like this. I think it's really fun to have these prompt questions to answer for you guys so that you kind of get to know me a little bit and things that I like to prioritize, my opinions on things, just all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to keep watching. I'm gonna have a bookworm gift idea video coming out very soon for you guys, so if any of you need ideas for your bookish friends, or maybe you're a bookworm and you might want to get some of these things for yourself, or maybe you're trying to get your best friend into reading, whatever it may be, I have all of the gift options for you. I'm also gonna have some good book recommendations for like beginners, stuff like that coming up in a video soon, so be sure to look out for that. And be sure to subscribe because I do post every single Friday. If you turn on that notification bell, you will be notified when I do. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. That's when I remember.